birthday, and I got a gift from either of my two girls. I have two daughters, and I have raised them to be very independent, partly because it was a requirement, and partly because as a mother I wanted very independent children who were not dependent on me for anything. I have been a very bad cook, and so the elder one cannot eat what I cook, but the younger one, because she has stayed longer with me, she somehow likes what I cook. Even if she doesn't like what I cook, when I get it on a plate and feed her, she eats all of it. So I have this kind of thing. Now, unwittingly, I had followed this iconic model because I had two things in mind. They will not be raised like girls, but they will be raised like responsible citizens of this country. And I'm sure I have succeeded in doing that. And they have very logical uh, brains as far as my expectation goes. And of course I have been helped uh, with my parents as well, because being a single parent I had to uh, be dependent on my parents and my brother and sister-in-law also, who were responsible for raising them in those years when I was away, because I had to work, right, to sustain the household. Now, if I think what is their USP, I think one likes to, the elder one likes to read a lot. That habit came from my father, and the love for writing also comes from my father. I too write to some extent, and the younger one has magic in her fingers, because she can solve, her fingers can solve. I don't know whether it is because she applies her brain or something like that, but I feel, whenever I feel, I I have observed that her fingers works ahead of her brain, because she cannot explain the logic why she chose what she chose. So that is perfectly fine. That was the way she has been made, and this is another aspect that I wholly agree with. They are my children, but they are on their own journey, and they have their own sanskaras if we take the previous births into account. The second is crack crack a growth mindset. Of course, because whatever I have explained, they are never stuck with something. They have tried, and the elder one has converted her reading habits into writing profession, and she writes to formulate the CV, and ordinary CV also she can turn into magic resume. And the younger one has a strong sense of aesthetics, uh, which is rare, which doesn't come to everybody, not at least me. So she has inherited that aspect from her father, I think so, and that has been a gift, I must say. Observing daily habits, they choose always, हमेशा ही कुछ ना कुछ choose करते हैं, and then they reject, then they try something else, then again they reject, and the important thing is they are not stuck. They choose, they reject, and they move on. They try something else. So it is it, it gives me at times a sense of unsettling effect, but that is fine. My generation is very different than theirs, and for the previous generation it is always unsettling when the children, the next generation, is choosing. So obvious, right? The next is the process. uh, Even if you define a very successful a success mantra for anybody in life, it will be interpreted differently by everybody. So it happens according to their own mindset and their own thought process and everything. So I cannot say that I have nailed that process of giving them something, some mindset or something. It is ongoing, right? They are working on it, and they have their own views. um, Lastly, installing the compounding formula. That is my favorite formula, because if you start working and if you keep on stacking up all your efforts, the previous one, then it grows into something, a meaningful something. You must be consistent, and it finds its own way. That is the magic formula everybody talks about. But how many do it, I'm not very sure, but I personally have a an inclination for that. I do not want to waste anything, any effort, whatever I do. It has to be reused, refurbished, repackaged, and repurposed. That is what I believe in. So I keep on doing whatever I am doing, and raising very independent children has its own side effect which might appear negative, but my own principle is to be able to stand up to their expectation. Whenever they are in crisis or they are looking for something positive, an instance for impossible situations, who has crossed that situation? They should be able to find me crossing that limit. And I am pretty sure that I have done that 30% of time at least, if not more. And that is what gives me a sense of fulfillment, because that also explains that I'm open to failures, and I'm failing, and they should see me failing, getting up, and working towards another goal, another milestone. That is the important lesson that everybody should have, and they should also think, they should feel that it was possible for Ma, it is not possible for them. They should not feel like that. That is why I think I have done my bit very well, and I'm very proud of my girls, and it's a very fruitful journey for me as a mother, and I'm watching them unfolding themselves in a very bright way, and I'm proud of that also. And I love you watching my video, and whatever you like, please let me know, so that I would feel proud further, because it is a Mother's Day coming tomorrow on May 14th, and it will also be a gift for me. Thank you for watching.